Fuck you.
Ah!
Oh, man. FTW Entertainment. I almost said Inside the Ropes. I almost said
Force of habit.
Gotten used to it, you know. We've been saying it for a long time now.
It's a very big force of habit.
FTW Entertainment, we are here, and we let the whole weekend go by because there was a lot going on this weekend, and decided that we weren't going to do anything until the smoke cleared and we knew who did what. And we are here for an episode of What Chaps My Ass. That should tell you how the weekend went. in just a big ball of shit. It should let you know how we're feeling about things right now. Okay? So, I guess I'm just going to take the lead on this.
Go right a fucking head.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go into, because my daughter actually looked it up this weekend and saw fucking retarded kids doing it, is this fucking Tide Pod challenge. Yes, that's right. A challenge for you to eat a Tide Pod. Do you know how fucking retarded you have to be to actually think this is a good idea? Were you dropped on your fucking head? Did your mother smoke crack when you were in her womb? Because if not, there's no logical explanation for this. None. I mean, this is common fucking sense. My dog knows eating detergent isn't a good idea. But somehow it's turned into the newest, fastest growing trend on the fucking internet because we're all just fucking morons and we'll do whatever we see somebody else do. That's just, you know, how we live. Human race. Fuck yeah, we inherited the world and we're eating Tide Pods.
I think, for one, it's a great idea. I think a lot of people should do it, and then we should wait. It's that way we get to see how many smart people are still alive. Because the thing is, just let natural selection solve itself out.
Well, no, because what's happening more and more, what I'm seeing is that these videos are getting a lot of views.
Yeah.
So you're going to get more of these fucking morons out there doing it now because they're going to think, oh, this is my way to YouTube fandom. I can become a superstar. No, you're going to become a statistic. The next dumbass that's in a hospital because of a fucking Tide Pod.
Listen, it's gotten so out of hand that you can actually order a Tide Pod shot at a bar.
You know what's...
You're shitting me, right?
No.
No, he's not. It's true.
It's true.
Why the fuck
Strawby
Strawby
told me.
Why? How the hell does he know this?
He went out to the bar with his friends.
And they had a Tide Pod
and
shot.
his friend ordered one.
It's not like an actual Tide. It's
not
just
actual
something that
Tide
resembles
Pod.
the colors.
It's just
It's rum chata.
Oh, it's just a name.
And like two other liquors.
But it shouldn't
together.
even be a name.
Well, it shouldn't even be a name.
It should not be cool. Okay? This is not something that should be glorified. This is something that should be fucking idiotic.
Yep.
Watch. Next thing you know, we're gonna have to put freaking cushions on every sharp corner of everything.
No, you know what's coming? We're gonna see the day where detergent is locked up behind the counter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to request it. And you have to be like 18 and older to buy it and shit.
Yeah.
That's coming because, you know, fucking morons out there don't know that you're not supposed to eat the shit. You're the same fucking idiots that look at rat poison and go, well, it's for rats, right? I can take that. I'll be okay. Right? That's your common sense here?
If you ever seen Ghost Ship, you'll know it's not just for rats.
You're just... It's stupid. I don't even understand who the fuck thought of the idea.
A retard.
Like, who sat there and went, that Tide Pod,
Right?
that looks yummy. I think I'm going to eat it. You know, we got cookies and shit, but that Tide Pod...
I know exactly who started it, and it's the same place that starts every other ongoing bullshit out there.
The White House.
BuzzFeed. It's gotta be.
I was going to say Donald Duck.
Donald Duck?
Sounds like a much reasonable answer as any other one for why people would be eating Tide Pods.
Donald Duck.
Probably the same reason why
They're going to say Daffy Duck.
why some people out there are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on mystery boxes, but still.
Look, I don't think...
At least that makes more sense than a fucking Tide Pod to eat.
That's the easiest
I don't
way to rip
think-
somebody off.
I don't think I'm asking too much here.
Now people are going to...
I'm just asking for common sense, folks.
Now people are going to question me when I go to get Tide Pods to wash my fucking clothes.
Yeah, that's what's
Do
happening.
you know
now.
how I'm going to have to explain to them, and considering how fucking crazy I look, and yes, I am crazy, but I'm not retarded enough to eat a fucking Tide Pod. I'm going to have to get weird looks. Look, I'm going to be fucking Garfunkel. Look at me. Look at me. I'm fucking Garfunkel.
Yeah, well, you know, it happens. I'm telling you, this is fucking insanity. It really is. And it's just, I don't know who to be mad at here. Should I be mad at the fucking kids doing this because you're not fucking smart enough to know that you shouldn't eat something that we use to wash clothes? Or the fucking parents for not teaching their kids that, hey, that goes in a wash machine, not your tummy. I don't understand. This is fucking like the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. And I've seen some pretty idiotic fucking challenges out there. Mm-hmm. But this is bad. You're going to die. Because you're going to get some idiot out there that goes, oh, I can eat 2 at one time. I can eat 3 at one time. That powder shit's going to get in your throat. You're going to start choking and you're going to die. And then what? People are going to go to your funeral and they're going to be like, oh, what happened to Jimmy? Well, Jimmy died because he ate a Tide Pod.
On the outside, he smells more refreshing.
That's your fucking obituary. Choked on a Tide Pod.
And the funeral is going to be freaking themed like blue and orange for the Tide.
Blue, orange, and white.
Absolute insanity. Just insanity, okay?
At least his body smells more refreshing.
Yeah.
Since we're on the...
He's going to be a mascot for...
Since we're on the things that I find to be utter and complete insanity, let's move on in topics, unless you guys still have something else you want to say.
No, nothing about that.
I'm
stupid as fuck.
Okay. So my next topic I want to broach is the NFL real quick.
Oh my God.
Super Bowl Sunday's fastly approaching, and we now know who the teams will be. We're going to have the Patriots and the Eagles. And I wish that my body would allow me to gouge out my own eyeballs before that game, because I really don't want to watch. Anyways.
I just know it's going to be fixed.
But here's the thing I find hilarious. I mean, could the referees have been trying any harder to make sure New England beat Jacksonville?
No, did you see the
watch the
picture?
game?
Yeah.
Both times. Brady's in trouble. Patriots are in trouble. They're losing. They need something to happen. Brady throws a deep ball. Incomplete. Out comes a flag. Brady throws a deep ball. Incomplete. Out comes the flag. Pass interference. Puts the ball on the 1. Right before halftime, Patriots score. Late in the game yet again. Patriots are down. 17-13. Deep ball, pass interference. Deep ball, pass interference. And they're inside the 5. Touchdown. Patriots go up. And they go on to win the game. That's it. The refs literally gift wrapped this game for the Patriots.
No, did you see the picture of the ref
High-fiving.
celebrating with
Yes.
the Patriots?
High-fiving. I mean, at least make it look a little fucking, harder to detect than that. Because, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick really need help.
God help me. I'm going to be an Eagles fan
5
for
rings.
the fucking Super Bowl.
5 rings, 7 Super Bowl appearances, and that's in like the last 10 years. And we're helping them because we feel bad? For what reason exactly? I don't, why do we feel bad again? Listen, the NFL is supposed to be a place where we can enjoy 2 teams beating the hell out of each other and not have to worry about the politics of the outside world, but apparently referees like money as much as everybody else does. Because I don't care what anybody has to say. That game against Jacksonville was a fucking hand-me game. They handed the Patriots that game. Jacksonville deserves to be playing in the Super Bowl this year. It should be Jacksonville versus Philly. Sorry. It's just the honest fact. Jacksonville played better the whole game. They were lighting up the Patriots on defense. They played a fantastic game, plain and simple. And what the referees did is horrible and disgusting and
bullshit.
I just pray to God that, it's horrible to say this, but as much as I really want to see justice served, I just can't root for the fucking Eagles.
I'm rooting for the Eagles just because I know fucking Tom Brady's going to get another fucking verbal ass whooping from his wife.
I can't do it. I'm a Giants fan. I can't root for the Eagles.
I can. I can. Nope. If the Patriots are involved, I can.
But you know what I'm rooting for this year? I'm rooting for the Super Bowl commercials.
Get the fuck out of this chair.
You're as bad as your buddy Mike saying he's rooting for fucking Justin Timberlake. Grown ass man, will you tell him to stop, please, with his fanboy JT stuff? Liking Justin Timberlake is one thing. Going on the internet and praising him like he's a golden god is disturbing.
Yeah.
Did he really do that?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Look on Facebook.
Mike.
Mike,
Why?
don't make me make a video about you. Next topic.
But,
I believe we're crossing.
sad to say, I don't want to see either teams in. I personally don't care. But we're going to get another Patriots win this year.
Yeah, I'm predicting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
fixed to fuck.
Exactly. It's going to be another fixed Super Bowl. And we're all going to be sitting here wondering, oh,
My
well,
only hope is that the Belichick plan is what I'm seeing right now. And what
Well-
I'm seeing is both of his coordinators are on their way out, something he would have never let happen in the past. He traded away both of his young quarterbacks. Okay? He's allowing star players to walk in their contract years more frequently than he used to. I honestly believe that Belichick is getting ready to leave the Patriots, and he's going to leave them with a 42-year-old Tom Brady and no backup plan for when he retires. Just to turn to Robert Kraft and say, win without me, Dick. Now say Brady was the one doing everything. Fuck you, Tom Brady. You didn't have Bill Belichick, your ass would still be deflating balls. Oh, you did that anyways. Hold on. No, you know what you'd be? You'd be the guy who holds Giselle's doggy purse. That's what you'd be. Okay? Next topic. We're going into boxing next. Yes, boxing. Big weekend in boxing. You know, just monumental weekend. Errol Spence Jr. came in and proved to the world that he is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest fighter that has ever stepped inside of a boxing ring. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say. You fucking retarded right now. He beat a washed-up never was. Plain and simple. Lamont Peterson's biggest claim to fame was beating Amir Khan. Newsflash, lots of people have beaten Amir Khan. It's not that big of a deal anymore. Okay? Lamont Peterson is not some prized scalp to put up on your resume. Was it a solid win for Errol Spence? Absolutely. I knew Errol Spence was going to win this fight. If anybody believed that Spence had a chance of losing this fight, then you're fucking retarded and you shouldn't be watching the sport of boxing. There was zero chance of Spence losing this fight unless he did not train, did not show up, came to the ring hungover with the hooker hanging off his leg. There just wasn't much of a chance here that he was going to lose this fight. So the fight ends much like I thought it would. I believe it was a 7th round. Yeah, there was a 7th round TKO basically. And the whole fucking world goes, I could be wrong about the round right now. I'm having a hard time remembering. I'm noticing as I get a little older, things just kind of fly right out of my memory.
But because you're getting old.
As soon as the fight is over, people start proclaiming that Spence should be on top of the pound-for-pound lists, that he should be the king of the pound-for-pound list in boxing. He's the #1 welterweight in the world, hands down. He's proven it by doing this, that.
Bruh.
Seriously? And, again, I don't know how many times I can state this fact the right way. I am an Errol Spence Jr. fan. He is an amazing fighter. He is going to be, in my opinion, a legend in this sport. Going to be. I will not say he is right now, because he beat 2 guys whose names I know. I'm not going to let you claim Kell Brook as this amazing win. Why? He's got 1 legitimate win on his resume, Kell Brook. Sean Porter. That's it. Okay? Then he beat Lamont Peterson, who Peterson's best years were at junior welterweight. They weren't even at welterweight. Okay? Yes, I know he's been at welterweight more recently. That doesn't mean he's been fucking good while he's been there. He couldn't hurt people at junior welterweight. The fuck made you think he was going to hurt people at welterweight? So now Spence goes and does exactly what we all thought he would do, and the world wants to crown him. You all want to say how great he is. Listen, let the man actually prove it. Okay? You're all fucking standing there like, oh my God, Errol Spence Jr. Ah! Relax, breathe. He ain't going nowhere. He's young. He's in his prime. He's got his best years still to come. Let him prove it. These motherfuckers have him fighting Canelo. Canelo fights 2 weight classes above him. And will absolutely murder Errol Spence right now. If they fought tomorrow, Spence would be in a lot of trouble. That's just a plain and simple fact. You know why? Level of opposition. Plain and simple. Canelo has been in there with the best in the sport on a regular basis. He has fought some of the best out there. He has fought Hall of Famers. Errol Spence just beat Lamont Peterson. Let's keep this in perspective here. Yes, it's not all his fault. I understand that. There aren't like a line of guys lining up saying, man, I can't wait to get knocked the fuck out by Errol Spence Jr. However, that's not something that I can just turn and say, well, he hasn't fought them, so he must be great. No. You gotta earn that fucking title. Okay? You know, Keith Sometime Thurman, I won't call you one time because you don't knock people out anymore, you don't fight anymore. You sometimes show up for the, for boxing every now and again. Once in a while we see you nowadays. He doesn't look like he wants to fight Spence anytime soon. However, that does not mean, in my eyes, that Spence is better than him. I won't know that until they share a boxing ring. And when I look at their resumes side by side, Keith Thurman has the better resume. Plain and simple. I don't care if you want to, oh, he's got Danny Garcia and blah, 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 blah. Thurman's got the better resume. Don't give a fuck what you have to say. That's it. Period. Done. If you believe it, you're as dumb as fucking Correa IOTBA. You're as dumb as Charlie fucking Zelenoff. You should be shipped off in a box, dropped in the middle of the ocean, with a fucking bag of chum attached to the bottom of it, waiting for the sharks to come in and take your ass out. You're all fucking retarded.
In other news, we might be getting Vasil Lomachenko versus Manny Pacquiao at a catchweight of 140.
Yeah, that's not a good fight.
Manny's starting to get old.
Manny's getting old. Lomachenko's so in his prime right now. Lomachenko's like fucking Matrix good.
Yeah, Rigondeaux's broken hand that looks a lot like this or something like that. Who the fuck knows what the fuck it looks like?
I just see this being Manny's worst night of his career, honestly.
Like I think it's gonna be a slaughter.
This is gonna be like a Marquez kind of thing. When Marquez finally caught him, this is not gonna go well for Manny if this happens. You're getting older. You're getting slower. You were. I won't say Jeff Horn beat you because I still don't think Jeff Horn beat you.
That was bullshit.
But you were that bad that night that you at least left room for the judges to have some doubt as to whether or not you were winning the fight. Manny Pacquiao in his prime would have sent Jeff Horn home in a body bag. You were no longer...
Oh, is that the fight that we were watching at the Knights?
Yeah.
Oh,
you were no longer the Manny of the golden years. Time catches up to everyone, buddy. It happens.
I think it's going to be like
going in there with a guy like Lomachenko and his skill level the way it is right now, this is not going to go well for you. So I really hope this is more rumor than fact right now.
I think it's going to go a lot like Ali's last fight against the person he used to spar with. What was his name again? Lewis something?
Larry Holmes.
Yeah, Larry Holmes. I think it's going to be going a lot like that fight. Like he might be gassed like after the first round.
And I don't understand why Manny, like unless Manny gives away a lot of his money or something, he's made so much money, why are you still fighting?
Like you don't need to.
You've cemented your legacy. You can make an argument for being one of the top 10, if not top 5, pound-for-pound fighters of all time. The argument can be made. I'm not saying you're going to win the argument, but you can make it. It's a strong one to make. Why are you still fighting? Because you know what? Jeff Horn was just a young, hungry guy looking for a win. He wasn't talented. He wasn't gifted. He wasn't special. Lomachenko is all those things. You're going to get hurt, buddy. I don't care if you're bigger than him and if you can take the punishment. Doesn't mean you fucking should. I can stick my fucking foot into a bear trap tomorrow if I wanted to. That don't make it a good fucking idea. It's not something I should be doing with my life. What else do we have in combat sports? Oh,
UFC 220.
Francis
Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic.
Francis Ngannou. Yeah, let me tell you something. I found the build up to this fight to be
it was
so
huge.
fucked up. I found it to be disrespectful to Stipe. I really did.
Because they're not giving him enough credit.
It felt like this was about Ngannou.
Like they turned it into the Francis Ngannou show, really. And
That's
when
what
they
it
came
felt
into
like.
the arena, everybody was so shocked that it was in Stipe's corner. Not really. This was Francis's first big fight, really, besides his fight with Alistair,
Listen, Stipe,
where he killed Alistair.
Stipe did what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
He took him into deep waters. He made him fight hard. He hung on him. He wrestled. He dragged him to the ground. He made him work non-stop. He gave this kid... Actually, it was a very important lesson for the kid. Because he's still young. He's got ridiculous power. He can come back.
Hell, like, everybody
Now,
was, like, looking at his strength.
It's time to go and hit the gym and do some cardio. Work on your takedown defense. Get better in those areas. You got to the title shot basically because you knocked out everything that came near you. But what happens when you run into that guy that doesn't get knocked out? That's what he found out against the champ. And Stipe's got a point, man. His post-fight interview, he didn't let Dana White put the belt on him. He was talking...
Hell, he took the belt away from Dana.
He was like, I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the best UFC champion of all time. Heavyweight champion of all... He's right. He has a legitimate claim to that fact because he's done something no other heavyweight has ever done. He defended that title successfully 3 times.
And the greats of the heavyweight division haven't even been able to do that.
You know, I mean, listen, I'm not going to call him the greatest of all time, greatest heavyweight that ever lived, because, you know, there's a guy out there by the name of Fedor, who back in his prime went undefeated for like 10 years. So, you know, I mean, you got to kind of know when to pick your battles here. But laying claim that you're the greatest heavyweight to ever step into a UFC cage, he's got
a valid argument.
A valid argument. I'm not saying he wins. I'm just saying he can make the case. You know, I mean, but a lot of guys can make the case, honestly. Shit, Brock Lesnar could make the argument if he wanted to, because before the bout with...
Couture?
No, the illness he had.
Mir?
No, Lesnar.
Oh, I thought you meant his opponent.
What was it?
Diverticulitis?
There you go. Before he had that, and really never looked the same after that, he was as dominant as any heavyweight I had ever seen. He absolutely mauled whoever was in front of him. But when you're trying to put that label of greatest of all time, it's kind of relative to who's saying it. Everybody looks for something different in a fighter. What I'm saying is, let's start giving Stipe some of the respect he deserves. Right now, he's the baddest man on the planet. That's a fact. Bellator's got old men who were never heavyweights fighting for the heavyweight title. UFC's got a killer shark, a great white, swimming through the waters and taking out other great whites right now. He's a beast. He deserves respect. And I don't know who's next for him, but I want to see him fight again. Like even if he loses, I want to see him fight again.
Dana White's talking about how he would like to see him versus Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, but DC doesn't want that.
Yeah.
DC's not stupid.
He's not going to go up another weight division to fight somebody.
Well, DC used to fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, he used to.
But he's not stupid. He knows a guy like Stipe
would kill him.
He hits a lot. He hits way harder than DC. He's got a good wrestling. He can do everything DC can do, and he's bigger. It's not a good matchup. Mm-hmm. It's a bad idea, and especially since DC, I think Daniel Cormier is like 38 years old or something like that. He's getting old. He ain't no little kid no more. So, also that night,
DC retained.
DC retained his title. The guy he fought, I couldn't say his name if you
Volkan Ozdemir.
Wow, that was a good job. I couldn't say that shit. And you could tell it was a big relief for DC. He enjoyed getting this win and kind of putting the John Jones story behind him for now. And listen, I do not give a shit what you have to say. I will never believe that John Jones ever fought a clean fight in his life. Because this shit is just getting ridiculous now. I believe you've been cheating since the day you hit the UFC. So, for all you fans out there saying that DC is a fake champ and that he didn't earn the belt. You know what he did? He has fought clean. He's fought hard. He's beaten the best clean fighters out there in the world.
It's kind of hard to argue.
The guy he lost to can't even fucking pass a drug test. So
It's kind of hard to argue when John Jones, how many times has he failed?
Twice.
Twice already?
Twice, and also the fact that he just keeps getting into trouble with shit
He's a
outside of
fucking
it,
moron.
besides drugs.
Twice already, and who knows how many times he's done that before coming into the UFC. He's
a fucking idiot.
Like, John Jones is like one of those people where, like, if you look back into the sport, like, when they give, like, his suspension, like, how long it's going to be, like, if it's, like, long enough where he, like, leaves, people are going to look back and say John Jones would have been the greatest UFC fighter of all time if he just learned how to... Yeah, should have been if he just learned how to stay out of trouble.
Key phrases. Should have been, would have been.
Actually,
Yeah, if he just learned how to stay out of trouble.
He should be thought of as the greatest UFC fighter of all time, and instead, he will be thought of as the... God, man, if he could have fucking kept his life together and not been stupid, what would we have had? How great would he have been? How long would he have held that title for before he ever lost it?
Yeah.
But, you know, self-destructive, trying to cheat to win, doing all this shit that you got to do, and now you threw out your career and all your endorsement deals and everything else, and if you think you're ever fighting in the UFC again, I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
Dana White's the kind of guy that, you know, you fool me once, I'll give you a second shot. You do it twice, Dana's usually done. He usually washes his hands and says that's it. So if Jones returns, I'm sure it'll be in Bellator or some other promotion. I don't see him coming back to the UFC unless they still believe they can make money off of him.
Well, they did say that he passed a polygraph for unintentional use, which I don't buy at all. I really don't buy it.
There's certain ways
to get around a polygraph.
Not even that. They could fucking... Did anybody see him take the polygraph?
No, they're just saying he took a polygraph. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be
look,
easily
here's his
bullshit.
results. You could have hooked up somebody else and said it was him.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
But with DC, like, DC gave Vulcan a lot of props after the fight, saying, like, he is the future of this division and he will be light heavyweight champion, but tonight, you're my bitch.
If you're the UFC, you couldn't ask for a better representative than Daniel Cormier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he does all the press.
He does everything the right way.
He does everything.
He does everything the way you ask him to do. He even hosts the fucking pre-shows and post-fight interviews and all that shit. It doesn't get much better than this man. So, give him a fucking break. It's not his fault John Jones is a fucking idiot. That's not his fault.
Didn't we just about cover everything in MMA, did we?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, over in Bellator, Rory McDonald won the Bellator middleweight or welterweight title. Excuse me.
His leg is fucked up.
Chael Sonnen beat Rampage
by decision.
It was the matchup of an old guy versus an old fat guy, and the one that was just old won. Basically, that's what happened. Neither one of these guys belonged in this fight. Neither one of them has ever been a fucking heavyweight, and yet they're out there fighting for the heavyweight title. Because at the heavyweight Grand Prix, you got 8 guys, they fight, you get down to the end, winner's champ. There's only 2 legit heavyweights in the whole fucking tournament.
Fedor
and Matt Mitrione. Oh, I'm sorry, and Roy Big Country Nelson and Frank Mir. But here's the problem. You ready? Frank Mir hasn't been good in a long fucking time. Roy Big Country Nelson hasn't been good in quite some time. Matt Mitrione is actually a bit of a wild card. He's a guy who's always had all the skill and ability and all that stuff. He's just never been able to put it all together and actually have a legit run. And then you got Fedor, who, in my opinion, is the greatest MMA fighter this world has ever known. But that was 10 years ago when he was still in his prime. He's older now, and he was once known as a big heavyweight. He's now a very small heavyweight, who should probably be fighting at light heavyweight, more realistically. Bellator's making a joke out of this thing. They've got washed-up has-beens and light heavyweights fighting for the heavyweight title. It's sad. Because then you look over at the UFC and they've got absolute heavyweight murderers going at each other. Killers. There's no comparison in this scenario. So that's why I didn't really bring up Bellator all that much.
Because there's not really much to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about over there.
Because you just got, like, as you said, a bunch of veterans who are starting to go out of their prime or are already out of their prime.
They're not starting to go out. They ran out that motherfucker a long time ago.
We can compare Bellator to TNA.
No, you can compare Bellator to freaking WCW at the end because they just had a bunch of really old people.
Because
instead of making really new
Bellator
stars.
has names and big names. But what they're trying to do is, like WCW did, anytime the UFC releases a star,
pick them up.
Bellator tries to pick them up.
Yep.
Which can be smart when you do it with guys like Benson Henderson, Rory McDonald, because they're still in their prime. They're still top-level fighters. Rory McDonald is arguably one of the top 3 welterweights in the world right now. So that was a smart signing. Signing guys like Chael Sonnen and Rampage, who hasn't trained for a fight probably in the last 5 years.
I was about to say, Rampage Jackson's still around?
That's what I was saying when I first heard that he was facing Sonnen. I'm like,
fighting
what?
for a contract. They're fighting for the money. That's the only reason they're still there. Rampage doesn't want to train, get in shape, and be a killer. He wants to get to the cage, get the fight done with, and get his check. That's what he wants. He wants his reality show that he was promised on, no, not Spike anymore, Paramount now. It is now Paramount. It's no longer Spike. Spike
That's
TV
gay.
is dead.
That's gay. Spike TV sounded better.
So, I think that pretty much covers MMA.
Yeah, just about.
We covered boxing. Mm-hmm. We covered the NFL being a bunch of fucking soulish douchebags.
Cover the Tide Pod Challenge.
We covered the Tide Pod Challenge. So now, what's left? What do we want?
You got anything?
I got nothing.
Nobody done anything? We're done?
Oh, yeah. Raw had its 25th anniversary tonight. All you need to know, literally, it was awesome up until the ending. The ending sucked, not going into it. That's all I have to say.
I actually got blocked on freaking Instagram by this person who actually photoshopped CM Punk returning. Like, oh my god, he's back. And I'm like, I'm unfollowing you. Go fuck yourself.
Being a wrestling fan for as long as I've been one, it was cool to watch the 25th special of Raw tonight.
Oh, it was nostalgic.
I had something to do, so I had to record it. I didn't want to miss it. Seeing DX back in the ring, seeing Stone Cold and Vince McMahon face to face in the ring again. A lot of nostalgia feels there. They played on that stuff a lot tonight. It was more of a celebration than it was a normal Raw show. But yeah, it was a really, really good Raw. They did a great job celebrating 25 years. And then the ending of Raw was kind of like a huge letdown because the whole night had been these huge pops. And then you give us what's been happening every week leading up to the Royal Rumble, which was, Strowman, Lesnar, and Kane beating the hell out of each other, with Strowman coming out on top
Again.
this time.